Do you think the low ratings? I know people were making a joke. As soon as that came out, all of a sudden, Vince McMahon supposedly wants back in. Do you think that has anything to do with it, or what do you think? Like, where do you think that came from?
Uh, we all know. Did Vince ever take a vacation from the time he got bought the company from his dad? Have you ever heard of him taking a vacation?
No, that was the one thing that everybody I've talked to, everyone always said the guy never took vacation, wouldn't take breaks, nothing.
Okay, so if that's all he knows, don't you think him stepping aside, maybe the first week he said, "Oh, I'm glad I'm step aside because of the turmoil he's in right now," right?
Hmm.
But when he sees a little, when he watches it, and that's all he's ever done, he probably is saying, "Oh, I'd like to get back in the saddle again." I mean, so is it that the ratings have dipped? It's like he's a guy that likes to be in a position of power. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm wrong on that. I mean, this was his baby. Think back when he was promoting little towns outside of Boston. He was in Fitchburg, Worcester, Lowell. Then he was in Bangor, Maine, Augusta, Maine, Prescott Isle, Maine. That's the last town, one of the last towns in the U.S. before you cross into Canada. Think of how far he's come to making this a $1 billion industry. And there isn't a day or a week, let's say, that goes by without them mentioning on television in some form WWE, like in football or that in baseball. He took a hard slide and looked like a power bomb from the WWE. Don't you? You know what I'm saying? It's part of our vernacular right now. It's in our language. So I mean, let's face it. He was the only guy ever be able to do that.
And it looks like somewhere across the line that Wall Street Journal got a quote from him or a quote from a friend of him. And it said that I got bad advice about taking time off. I could have just stepped to the side and still been in charge, and this would have blown over and I could still run the company. So I think I got some bad advice, meaning Vince is saying that he got bad advice and that he could come back. I don't know. Do you think he's crazy? If that's true, if that quote is true?
Crazy like a fox. uh, Here's the thing. I don't see Vince McMahon making a mistake on this kind of position he was in. Do you? I mean, Vince is a very smart guy. And here's what I'm thinking. I think it was the best thing for him to step by. It could have caused, if he didn't step aside, it could have caused their stocks to drop. It could have caused more unrest. They could have lost some guys. Anything could have happened because when in these news cycles now, when something's negative, they jump on it and drain it till they got every last bit out of it. So I mean, do you, what would you if you were Vince McMahon and you own that company? What would you have done? I would have stepped aside. What would you have done?
You got to step aside because of all the allegations, and they
Right,
seemed like they weren't going to stop. And all of a sudden, he stepped aside. All the allegations stopped. The stock went through the roof. It's still very, very high, the
right.
highest that has been in, I think maybe probably a couple of years at least. This is the highest it's been. But it seems like now that he said that, two more allegations have come out, just as he said he was going to make a comeback.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Follow us on Twitter at the Hannibal TV for instant updates.